You know, there's only a few teams that have unstoppable offensive players, right? We could agree with me. Luka, SGA, Joker, Curry, to name a few.
Steph Curry.
How many teams have two?
Yeah, not
The
many.
Rockets have two. And you know what? With his improvement, with the addition of KD, name a better duo in the league. I'm listening. There isn't one.
The NBA believed Houston needed patience, that their young roster wasn't ready, that bringing in a 37-year-old superstar was a last-ditch gamble, and that losing their starting point guard before the season even tipped off would sink their momentum. They figured Reed Shepherd was just another lottery talent who'd take years to bloom. But one bold, franchise-shaking move later, the entire Western Conference felt the shift, and suddenly a second-year guard was lighting it up from deep, knocking down nearly 48% of his threes on 6 attempts a night, proving every assumption dead wrong.
Oh, pull back by Reed Shepherd. Oh! Excuse me!
And now, with a start to the season that's literally rewriting NBA history on the boards, the message is clear: the Houston Rockets aren't coming, they're already here. Sitting at 9-3, third in the West, they're playing some of the sharpest basketball in the league. And if you've really watched them, you've felt the shift. This isn't a lucky hot streak or an early season fluke, this is a true contender announcing its arrival with force. When Kevin Durant is drilling clutch, game-tying threes, when Alperen Sengun is bullying the paint like it's his personal headquarters, and when the team is cleaning the glass at a rate that could shatter records untouched for 3 decades, it's obvious the NBA suddenly has a red-hot problem on its hands. And it all starts with the duo everybody doubted, KD and Sengun. Critics wondered if Durant still had anything left at 37, especially after the disappointing Phoenix chapter, but the Rockets' rise is proving just how wrong those doubts were. The big question hanging over Kevin Durant was simple: could he still be that guy when everything was on the line? Sunday night against Orlando delivered the answer loud and clear. Houston trailed nearly the entire game, and even without Bunk Hero, the Magic looked ready to lock up the win late. But this is where real contenders separate themselves from pretenders. With under a minute left and the Rockets still down, KD brought the ball up, stepped back over Wendell Carter Jr., and buried a cold-blooded 3 to tie it, pure ice. Moments later, on the other end, Desmond Bane attacked the rim, only for Alperen Sengun to erase the play with a clutch block. But the chaos didn't stop. Durant slipped receiving an inbound from Sengun, gifting Orlando a go-ahead dunk, only for the Magic to miss the free throw. Suddenly, 1.4 seconds remained. Game over, right? Not even close. Amen Thompson fired the inbound to Sengun in the paint, and with a smooth turnaround hook over Jonathan Isaac, he beat the buzzer as time expired, overtime hit, and from that moment on, Houston took complete control. The Rockets closed it out 117-113, with Durant dropping 35 and Sengun delivering a monster 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. But the real story is why this duo is suddenly terrifying. Sengun has always been capable of putting up those kinds of numbers. The difference now is he finally has a closer beside him, someone who's lived through every pressure moment the league can offer. When defenses collapse on Sengun in the post, and they have to, because his footwork is ridiculous, he can swing it out to one of the most unstoppable scorers ever. And when KD gets doubled, Sengun has space to go to work inside. There's no right answer. Pick your poison, and prepare to get burned either way. And the scary part? Durant isn't just scoring, he's bending defenses like gravity, forcing teams to adjust in ways that open up the entire floor for everyone wearing Rockets red.
Durant on top. Durant pulling back, shooting for the tie. He gets it! Kevin Durant is cold!
Reed Shepherd is exploding onto the scene, knocking down threes at over 47%, and a huge part of that is simple. Teams cannot afford to help off him because they're terrified of leaving Durant even slightly open. Amen Thompson is slicing to the rim easier than ever because his defender can't step away to provide help. Jabari Smith Jr. is getting cleaner, calmer looks from deep because defenses are constantly collapsing toward Durant and Sengun. The entire offense shifts when a top 5 all-time scorer bends the floor every single possession. It's not just about the shots KD takes, it's about the shots everyone else gets because he exists. But here's the twist, this isn't only a Durant-Sengun masterclass. Houston has turned into an outright menace on the glass, and it's altering the pace and flow of every game they play. Through 12 contests, they're grabbing a jaw-dropping 41% of their own misses, bullying teams with second chances and turning hustle into a weapon that's reshaping their identity. Houston is destroying teams with sheer force. They're putting up 20-plus second chance points a night, and it's no mystery why. Steven Adams, at 32, is still the most violent offensive rebounder in the league on a per-minute basis, 5.1 offensive boards in limited run. When Adams shares the floor with Sengun, it's basically theft. Opposing teams simply do not get the ball back. Just watch this overtime possession. Sengun and Adams maul the glass until Sengun casually flips a behind-the-back dime to Adams like it's a pickup game. That mix of Sengun's supernatural timing and Adams' brute strength is producing rebounds that shouldn't exist. And when Adams sits, they throw in Clint Capela, a starting-level center coming off the bench, attacking the rim like he's trying to crack the backboard. 3 elite rebounders in one rotation, good luck matching that. This isn't some spreadsheet advantage, it's psychological warfare, and teams are breaking in real time. You can defend your heart out for 20 straight seconds, force a tough shot, get the stop you desperately need, and then Steven Adams casually volleyball taps the rebound out to Jabari Smith Jr. for a wide-open corner 3. How do you scheme against that? How do you stay locked in defensively when you still can't finish the possession no matter how perfectly you play it? Houston is imposing its will physically, every single trip down the floor. And Jabari Smith Jr., now in year 4, is finally stepping into the player Houston believed he could be, 14.5 points per game, hitting 37% from deep on real volume, and pairing that with the elite defense he's always had. His confidence is catching up to his talent. Then there's Reed Sheppard. The number 3 pick from the 2024 draft is exploding in his sophomore season, drawing attention league-wide. He's putting up 12.3 points in just 22 minutes, but the absurd part is the shooting, 47.7% from 3 on nearly 6 attempts a night. He's taking more threes than anyone on the roster despite coming off the bench. And when you watch him, it's obvious why. He's playing free, decisive, fearless. No hesitation, catch, one dribble if necessary, and boom, the shot is gone. Teams are finally understanding that leaving Reed Sheppard alone on the perimeter is a death sentence, and that extra attention on him is only giving Kevin Durant and Alperen Sengun even more space to operate. Losing Fred VanVleet to an ACL injury should have been a major setback, but instead it pushed Sheppard into a larger role, one he's grabbed with both hands. And the shooting across this roster has been flat-out ridiculous. Over their first 12 games, Houston knocked down 42.6% of their threes as a team, despite attempting fewer triples than anyone else in the league. These aren't easy looks either. They're hitting contested pull-ups, catch-and-shoot bombs, deep spot-ups. Even Sengun is knocking down threes at a 45% clip. Sure, some of this heat will cool off. Tari Eason shooting 50% from 3 probably won't last forever, but even with a little regression, the Rockets have already shown they're a legitimately dangerous shooting team, and with Dorian Finney-Smith still waiting to rejoin the lineup, Houston's shot volume should climb even higher, and that's exactly what makes this group so dangerous. Now it's time to give credit to the architect of this chaos, head coach Udoka. His system looks nothing like the old Houston identity. Forget the Maury Ball era of non-stop threes and layups. This offense has flipped the script. The Rockets are 25th in passes per game yet sit at number 1 in offensive rating, and it all makes sense once you see how they play. This team thrives on isolation, but not the slow, inefficient ISO possessions that stall an offense. Instead, they're leaning into smart, targeted isolation sets built around 2 elite one-on-one scorers, Alperen Sengun and Kevin Durant. Their ability to break down defenses without heavy ball movement has turned Houston into one of the toughest covers in the league, and it's all unfolding exactly the way Udoka designed it. When you pair the league's best big man isolation player with arguably the greatest isolation scorer of all time, defenses are trapped in a nightmare with no easy answers. And Houston isn't stopping there. Their zone defense adds another layer teams simply aren't prepared for. Udoka's Rockets use zone on roughly 18% of defensive possessions, nearly double any other team in the league. It's strategic, not gimmicky, protecting the rim, forcing mid-range attempts, and leveraging their size to switch almost everything while still contesting shots. The numbers tell the story too. Houston is averaging 28 free throws per game, while opponents sit near the bottom of the league with just 23 attempts. Durant excels at drawing fouls, Sengun dominates at the line, and Amen Thompson is fearless attacking the paint. On the defensive end, the Rockets are solid too, sitting 11th in defensive rating at 113.7, blending pressure, size, and strategy into a complete package. Not everything is perfect, they're not elite across the board yet, but the Rockets are improving game by game, and the foundation is strong.